Dear Keanu, this is a story about our family vacation on your second cruise. This time we chose to take cruise to Alaska. We boarded the Quantum of the Seas cruise ship in Seattle. It was so exciting to be on the ship again, and we couldn't wait to start touring this beautiful and giant boat. You even found a glass floor on the ship, although it wasn't very clear. It felt like we were back home because it always feels so nice and comfortable being on a cruise ship. First day, we just relaxed. You played some video games, we went to the fun zone, and you played some ping pong with your mommy. It was your first time. Towards the evening, you weren't feeling well, and we just went to the room and you just watched cartoons. The next day, it was a sea day, meaning we were spending all day on the ship. Our day started with a breakfast at the Windjammer Cafe. There was so many different food selections and we give you so many food choices, although I think you were too overwhelmed by it and were so picky. We went to explore the rest of the ship. We went to the outside deck and it was so nice to have a chilly weather because we were so tired from Florida heat. You were looking for whales in the ocean because Alaska Cruise is famous for having whale sightings. We went to check out Flowrider, indoor pool, bumper cars, play more video games, checked out kiddie pool, but it was so cold for swimming and you spent long time playing at the playground. It wasn't many kids on this cruise. Then we came back to our room and got ready for our first formal dinner on this cruise. We all dressed up and went to the main dining room. You were so cute holding your mommy's hand. It was such a nice dinner, but you wouldn't sit still. Then you got really cranky. You did not want to do anything or watch any shows. You were saying that you want to go home, but you didn't mind having pizza and cuddling with mommy. The next day was our first port of call, Ketchikan, Alaska. We woke up to the beautiful mountain views and cool weather. Ketchikan is such a cute and small town, and we were ready to get off the ship and explore it. Cruise port in Ketchikan, Alaska was very busy and we went to see the number one attraction there, and it was so easy to find this place, just few steps away from the ship. It's called Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. At first, you didn't want to watch any shows, and we had to bribe you with lollipops so you would stay. But then you actually started to watching and liking the show. You loved watching tough guys cutting wood, and they were doing all kinds of performances. We were so happy that you enjoyed the show. Then we went to walk around the Ketchikan town. It was very beautiful and so cold. It was a nice break for us from the hot weather. We came by the canal where you can see so much salmon, and then we saw something big in the water. Your daddy thought it was a very large fish, but it was a river seal. It was just chilling in the canal, swimming around and relaxing. The next day, when we woke up and started getting ready for breakfast, you were not in the mood. Kiana, do you like your cruise?
No.
Let's go eat breakfast.
No.
Kiana, put a shirt on.
No.
You really wanted to go home. Let's go eat pancakes.
No,
Let's go.
I want to go home.
Let's go eat pancakes.
I want to go home.
Okay, let's go home.
But your mood got better when you started eating your breakfast. After breakfast, we disembarked the ship in Sitka, Alaska. We didn't have any excursions booked for that day because tours we wanted to buy were all sold out, but we just decided to go and see what Sitka has to offer. At the port, we found a local operator named Cool Bus, and they took us for a hike at a beautiful forest. It was such a nice place and very peaceful walk with so many totem poles on the way, such an incredible nature. And then we saw a wide river full of salmon with a bridge over it. It was thousands and thousands of salmon in the river. It's an annual fish migration called Salmon Run. It starts in May and continues through September, and we were so lucky to catch this time of the year. It was so interesting to see how salmon is traveling up the stream to lay eggs. You always loved fish, so the Salmon River was one of your favorite places to see because you got to see a large fish up close. But seeing salmon up close wasn't enough for you. You really wanted to go into the river which was very, very cold. So your mommy had to hold you so tight so you wouldn't end up swimming in the river with the fish. Your daddy even was able to catch a salmon with his bare hands, and you got to touch the fish, and you loved it. We had a very nice and memorable time, very nice place to see and experience. Then we went to the viewing deck. There we could see Sitka from the high point, and it was very beautiful, small town surrounded by tall mountains. Then we saw on the viewing deck a couple of Russian cannons. Since Alaska used to be part of Russia, you can still find some of the Russian history in there. You really like playing and climbing on those cannons. Then we walked around the town, and right in the middle of the town, it was a Russian church. It was very beautiful old Russian church. Your mommy even got to go inside of it, but it turns out now it's not a functioning church and it's more like a museum. Then we went inside of the Russian souvenir store, and there was so many Russian dolls called matryoshki. And that's how we spent our day in Sitka, Alaska. Then we got back on the ship for dinner. After you had an ice cream, and we wanted to go and see what's going on around the ship so we can watch some shows and participate in fun games. But you were so strongly against it, you didn't want to see or do anything on this cruise. The only thing you didn't mind doing is having your cake in cafeteria. On the following day of our cruise, we were approaching Juneau, Alaska, and we were enjoying the breathtaking views, clear icy water, mountains, beautiful low clouds, glaciers in the mountains, and countless waterfalls streaming down the mountains. Incredible scenery. When we disembarked in Juneau cruise port, we had a big excursion planned. We were doing whale watching, and we were all so excited about that. We boarded a tour bus and had a very scenic ride. Then we got transferred to the boat where our tour began. It was so many people on this tour, and we got very lucky by getting the seats on the second floor of the boat where the best views are. You even got your binocular. You were so cute with it. Then whale sightings began. We went outside. It was so cold, and you had to have your winter jacket on. It was very unusual for all of us dressed like this in August. But then we started to see the whales. It was so cool, and you were so happy and so excited. We saw so many whales on this excursion. They were everywhere, very interesting. And we also got to see very beautiful glacier on this tour. It was definitely one of a kind experiences that we definitely had to do in Alaska. And you were finally in a good mood and enjoyed it. Then we came back to the ship to our room. You got very nice and comfortable in bed and played with your toys. In fact, bed was your favorite place on the ship. You always were asking to go back to the room so you can hang out in bed and watch TV. That's all that you wanted to do pretty much. So we spent a lot of time in our stateroom. Later we went to have dinner and one of our waiters made a very cool figure out of napkins for you. Then we went to casino and you played on the slot machine. You played with bumper cars for a little bit, then some video games, then run around and crawl around the basketball court, and of course hang out with kids who were playing video games. But they wouldn't give you a controller, so you were really upset about it. Our last day on the cruise, we had a last port of call, but it was later in the evening, so we had a long time to spend on the ship. We started with going to the windjammer, and you were so excited about washing your hands. You kept saying,
Washi washi. Washi washi. Washi washi. Washi washi. Washi washi.
it was our routine. Then you crashed the game show, and I think it was the only game show we were able to watch on this cruise. Then we took you to adventure ocean science classes, where we knew you would really enjoy. They were doing a science experiments and making a volcano eruption, and you were having a lot of fun with it. Then, for the first time on this cruise ship, we went to the indoor pool, so you can play in the jacuzzi and swim in the pool. Your mommy was so surprised how you were not cold because pool was not completely enclosed. Then, in the evening, we arrived in our final port of call, Victoria, Canada. In the port, we had to take a bus to the city. While we were waiting to board the bus, you were adorable with your city map, such a Mr. Tourist waiting for your adventure. We spent few hours in Victoria. Victoria is one of the British Columbia most popular coastal cities. Very beautiful and historic city. One of the most beautiful buildings there is Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. We spent a long time there. You enjoyed playing by the fountain. You really liked garden and flowers, kept throwing them in the water fountain. And overall, you were in really great mood and you were running around with your mommy and you saw a horse up close for the first time and were even able to pet it. And you were so cute and gentle doing it. Then you found so many friends and played with them for a long time and forgot all about us. You're growing up too fast. After all of those fun times, we were going back to the ship on the bus, and you were really soaking in the beautiful views of the city. After visiting Canada, you can now say that you've been to 12 countries in only 3 years old, my world traveler. It was a very unique and interesting experience seeing such an interesting destinations on this cruise. Our last night on the ship was so much fun, and you were dancing at the silent disco party and having such a good time. But you didn't want your mommy to dance because you were too busy dancing with girls. And that's how we spent our vacation, seeing new places, creating new memories, and enjoying our family time. Until the next time.